Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Happy New Year. I know this video is going up either like the 1st or 2nd of January of 2023, but my name is Alyssa and on this YouTube channel I create budgeting content, planning content, and side hustle content. I am on a journey to becoming debt-free. I have over $200,000 in really annoying student loan debt that I would love to get rid of before the time that I'm 30. I'm currently 25 at the moment, but this is my expense tracker. I've been using the Budget by Paycheck Workbook by the Budget Mom, and we'll be closing out my December 2022 budget today. So yes, the second half of December had many expenses. This, just for reference, was my first half of December, and this was my second half of December. So there was many expenses, super annoying, but that's okay. We are just rolling with it. I use the highlighter method. This is what the Budget Mom uses. So I've added up all of my expenses into these categories, and this is kind of what I use to help close out my budget. But I do write every single expense down, where money flowed in and where money flowed out in the withdrawal column. So going to the actual budget for the 15th through the 31st, we had a lot of income for this month. I ended up using more savings than I had anticipated, and I'll go through that a little bit down here. But for the total income for the month, we had my regular paycheck, which is $16.51. And then I received some payback in terms of like a reimbursement check from work, people Venmoing me for things. So that total was $890. And then for savings, it was pretty much almost triple what I had predicted. I had budgeted to be at $1,210, but I ended up actually using $3,442, and we'll talk a little bit more about that down here. And then my side hustle income was $398. If you want to see where all that income came from side hustles, I'll link the setup video in the top corner here, and you can go take a peek at it. So the total income for the 2 weeks of December 15th to the 31st, so the second half of December, was $6,381. Now moving down to the fixed expenses here, rent as predicted, utilities was a little bit over. I didn't realize that when my roommates, she hadn't sent us she did send us this like Zelle request, but I never saw it. So she resent it, and I ended up having to pay basically twice. So it was $69, Spotify and Peacock and LA Fitness, all as budgeted for. Same with Acorns and Therapy and the Sounder season tickets. This was the last month that I had to pay this ticket, so I shouldn't have to be bringing any of this expense into the new year. And then indoor soccer ended up being a little bit less, ended up being $112. So fixed expenses for these 2 weeks was $815. Now if we take our handy dandy calculator, so we have the income total, which was $6,381 minus $815 gives us $5,566 left over for the rest of the month. Now for the variable expenses, so I am a cashless spender. I do not spend in cash. I live in Seattle, big city, no bueno carrying around cash. But for groceries, I was actually under budget, was quite surprising, but I was gone for about a week with Christmas. So groceries was $68. Eating out was a disaster these 2 weeks. $335 on eating out. Ugh, it just sucks. Just killed my budget overall. So frustrating, $135 over. I just had a couple of like bigger dinners that I paid for. So that's kind of where the expense came from. I'm going to try to rein that in, obviously, in the new year. That's probably, I'd have to go back and check all of the, the other months, but I'm pretty sure this was the most expensive 2 weeks of the whole year for eating out. Just absolutely ridiculous. Gas and car ended up being $36. I only put gas in my tank once. On the way back from Christmas, my sister actually filled up my tank as a thank you for driving her. So it ended up only being $36, which was good because I needed some extra to pay for the eating out. Investments, $32, and fun and entertainment, only $39, which was surprising. I think it's because I My fun and entertainment for the month was eating out with friends, and that got very expensive. Holiday. So this is the biggest expense, so $2,355. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I've been saving for a MacBook for about a year now, and I had to take some money out of that fund when I had a bunch of debt I had to pay off from breaking up with my now ex-boyfriend and moving out on my own again and really just having to fund all of that. So it was I basically took half of it and had to restart, and I've been saving every month for it. And so I didn't really want to put this in miscellaneous because it wasn't really a miscellaneous. It was more or less a Christmas present to myself that I had been saving for. So the MacBook itself was about $1,300, but I had about maybe $1,700 in the account. And because I got such a great deal on the MacBook, because I bought it in Portland, which is in Oregon, so there was no sales tax, and then I bought it from Best Buy and they were having $200 off, I ended up saving myself almost $300, $400. So what I ended up doing is I also wanted an iPad. It's something I've been wanting for a while, was gonna save separately after the MacBook. But since that was also kind of on sale and I got a great deal on it, I went ahead and purchased both of them. So that's where the big expense came from. And then I also took money from my Christmas fund and I bought myself a blow up paddleboard, inflatable paddleboard. That was actually my Christmas present to myself. And then I saw the MacBook sale like 2 weeks later or a week later, I don't know. So that's where I sort of like had the bulk amount of money come from, then just regular Christmas expenses, etc. So $2,355 for holiday. Self-care was $50 for these nails right here. Miscellaneous, $230, way over budget. This was just a bunch of random stuff that I bought. Travel as pretty much almost exactly $797, and nothing for pets. So the envelope total, or really the variable expenses total for these 2 weeks, was $3,942. So we started with $5,566 minus $3,942. Gives us $1,624. Moving up to the savings. Now, how I've been doing my budget is basically after I set this up with you guys, I immediately go and transfer all of this money into my Ally high yield savings account. That way I am paying myself first, and if things get tight here, that's okay. Like, that's on me, but I know that I'm still working towards my goal in this sense of my budget here. So the only thing I didn't do for savings was the indoor soccer. I just really don't like having to go to the bank and get cash, and I just neglected to do that. So it ended up only being $415. So subtract that by the $1,624. We get $1,209 going into the debt. So for debt, I put a total of $1,068. You can see the breakdown right here with my Discover and Alaska Airlines card. So subtract that by 1,068, gives us $141. So if we do the math, I don't know why I put a comma right here. I think because I've been putting a comma all the way through. So if we take the 141 and subtract the 137 that we put extra savings towards a house, it ends up with $4. And honestly, I'm just going to write this as 0. I round up on all of these numbers, and that $4 is probably from just my rounding error. But I'm really glad that once again, we have another zeroed out budget, and it actually is New Year's Eve today. And so when it becomes the 1st, I will transfer the money that I need for the next budget into my account, and that's what we will set up in the next video. So normally at the end of every month, we go over the total closeout for the month, and honestly, you guys, I had zero desire today to close out this monthly budget category breakdown. I just don't know what it is. I just really don't feel like doing it. I don't know if maybe I just think it's not helpful for me. I do think it is helpful to see all the numbers, but because of all the movement and how much money, it just feels very overwhelming. And we're going to start a new budget workbook anyhow in the new year. So I'm just like, you know what, let's skip it this time and continue with it in the new year. I think I've done it for every single month. And you know what, I'm going to take December off from closing out this budget total. At least then I'm going into January with $0. So when I get my paycheck, then it'll just like start a new one. I don't really update anything from this anyhow, so I don't think it's really, you know, useful for me this month, but I will continue doing it in the new year's. But I'm trying to say, I'm just blabbing. But I hope you all have a happy new year, safe new year. We have some really great goals set up. I can't wait to chat with you about that in some new upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. Give the video a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video real soon. Bye.